And he's like, I am God.
And I got so scared by my own story that I started to cry.
We were all like,
you know what a horsey says?
good.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to our channel.
Welcome.
Wow.
Don't mind me.
I'm really excited today
Me too.
because we got sushi and Courtney spilled soy sauce
Don't
on the ground.
Tell Cheryl. She'll get so mad at us.
On the white rug.
You can't even really see it.
So, let's just jump right in. We have nigiri, salmon, tuna, for me.
Not for me.
Blech. Courtney does not like that. Spicy tuna roll, Philadelphia roll, spicy crunchy California roll,
Tempura shrimp roll.
shrimp tempura roll, butterfly roll. It has shrimp and salmon on top. And this is called the cowboy roll, and it's steak.
Yeah. No fish at all in there.
So, yeah. Before we start, I'm so excited and hungry, so I'm just gonna start eating.
Me too.
Oh, and I want to add some wasabi to my soy sauce.
And I don't.
I don't really like wasabi alone, but with soy sauce.
Oh, that's good.
Which one did you try? Your California roll?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big fan of, sorry. I'm not a really big fan of crab salad.
Crab salad.
Like that crab
In there?
stuff that's in it. I don't really like it.
Well, I'm not a fan of salmon.
Blech.
Not a fan. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
What was this one?
Spicy tuna. I'm gonna try that.
Have a good time. I'm gonna try the shrimp tempura roll.
I feel like we might be a little bit worried because they packaged all of this in together with the steak, which was warm.
But
So we might be dying of food poisoning today.
But it doesn't taste like it's all warm. It tastes fine. Anyway, what are we talking about today?
So today, we're going to be discussing fears. Deepest, darkest fears. Maybe the science behind it, the psychology.
Let's not get too crazy.
But we all know you're not here for facts. You're here for food and fun, right?
That's right. Food and fun.
So good.
I copied you. Oh, I grabbed this one thinking it was mine.
Okay.
It's salmon. I don't want that.
Oh my, that was good.
This is the steak one. It's got avocado, cream cheese, and just steak, I think. Yeah? That one's really good. Try my steak one. Pretty good.
Wanna try this one? This one's good.
Nope, because there's salmon on it.
If you want to go eat sushi, Courtney's not the person to eat sushi with.
Definitely not.
Okay, so what is your biggest irrational fear?
I'm afraid of the dark.
Well,
Is that irrational?
no. Like, I mean,
Like,
the dark's not gonna hurt you.
It's what's in the dark. Like, my mom rented The Grudge when I was little. And, I think that's what, like, traumatized me. Because I walked in and she was watching it, and I was like, I can't sleep. And so I slept in her bed, and I slept like this while she was watching it. With the, like, blanket pulled up over my face. And then there was a part where the grudge girl is coming down the stairs, and I was like, this is not, I'm not supposed to be here. It freaked me out so bad. So, like, for years, I was like, I have to sleep with the light on or else the grudge girl's gonna get me. Ah.
So your irrational fear is the grudge.
I guess so.
Okay. What's your biggest rational fear?
I thought this was 2 napkins. It's definitely just one. My biggest rational fear? Earthquakes.
Yeah, same. So we live in Utah, and for the last 100 years, they've been
Longer than that.
They've been saying we're overdue
For a huge earthquake, like a 8.0. I don't know how the
So rock scientists
scientists
do some nerdy rock stuff, and they find out that every like 500 years there's a big earthquake that changes the landscape because it's so big. And we're overdue, apparently.
And we have been for a long time.
Which is what they've been saying for like 100 years. So if you've been in Utah the last 100 years, you've heard about this earthquake.
The big one.
And every year we get earthquakes, and scientists say,
Uh-oh, it's coming.
The next 5 days.
They don't say that.
I read
They're
something
like,
that said that, and we're more likely in the next 5 days after.
Ooh. The one that like first started happening this year?
So it scared the crap out of me. I was like, I need 72-hour kits, and I need a plane ticket to California.
I did this.
We didn't have more.
I did the same thing. I went and made a 72-hour kit. So I have a backpack full of like a leash for my dog and like a bunch of cans of baked beans and a first aid kit and flashlight. And
Is it bad that we're not eating the front ones?
I don't know. They can see all of it. It's all gonna get eaten.
Yeah.
I'm not real worried about it. What's your biggest irrational fear?
Bugs.
Oh yeah.
Not just bugs, but
Butterflies.
Any bugs that can fly. No thanks.
I sent you a snap today. Did you look at it? There's a towel hanging up outside my house because we gave Stevie a bath. And there's a huge moth like this big just sitting on it. And I was like,
But yeah, so I think my fear of flying bugs stems from my brother telling me that moths would suck my blood and kill me when I was little, and so I think that's where I get my fear from.
we have a bunch of stories like that from our older brother, Kyle. He used to be a, what's the right word?
Jerk.
Yeah?
Bully.
Yes. But then he grew up.
Yeah, he's cool now.
Now he's good peeps, but before he sucked. No one liked Kyle. He was mean. We were all scared of him.
Yeah, I'd say my rational fear is earthquakes.
Mm-hmm.
Also, no matter where I am, if I go into a new room or something, I come up with an earthquake plan.
You do?
Like, if an earthquake were to hit right now, same as fire. If an earthquake were to hit right now, what would my plan be? Where would I go?
That feels like it's consuming your life then. Jeesh.
I would say it verges on phobia. I'm terrified of that earthquake. Every time I was in school and I would hear like a rumble, like I would be like, "Ooh, I gotta get under the desk. I'm gonna die." And then it turns out to be surround sound in the next room.
Well, I get like that at movie theaters. Like if I'm like watching, I don't know, like a rom-com and someone's in the theater next to you watching Transformers and there's like a rumbling, I'm like, oh, it's happening. I only get like that in movie theaters though. I'm not, when I walk into like a Walmart, I'm like, if there's a fire, where are my nearest exits?
Well, it doubles when you have a kid.
I guess that's true.
I swear, I never really had anxiety until I had Mabel.
Really?
Because you just think of like, you're
All
constantly
the ways
thinking
it can
of
go
all
wrong.
the possible things that could happen, and it's like none of that would ever happen, but your brain goes through it. And sometimes it gets so bad where I have to like shake my head and be like, "Oh, stop thinking about that."
Sorry.
What's your favorite scary movie?
And that's really hard because the first scary movie I ever saw was Gremlins when I was in like, I don't know, 3rd grade maybe. And that movie scared me for a long time.
What's the most impactful scary movie that you've seen?
Oh, that's hard. Do you have an answer?
I have an answer.
Go ahead.
I have a couple answers.
Go ahead.
The first scary movie that really scared me was Signs.
Oh, yeah. That's a
Because
classic, Katie.
my dad and my mom were watching it, and I was supposed to be asleep. But I stood on the stairs and watched it, and the part where the alien sticks his hand underneath the door, it spooked me anyway. I was too little to watch it, and it just stuck with me, and it scared me.
Signs is like The Grudge for me.
Yeah, but Signs isn't scary.
Well, aliens are scary.
I guess it's suspenseful.
There's an alien movie that messed me up for a long time called The Fourth Kind. Do you remember that one?
I remember that.
There's a scene where it's supposed to be like a home video, and there's someone who, like, they're filming him and he was sick, or he had, like, said he was abducted by aliens or something, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. And then all of a sudden he starts levitating, and like his eyes roll in the back of his head, and this weird voice comes over, and he's like, "I am God." And I was watching that by myself when I was like a junior in high school, and I was like, "Dude, this is the scariest thing I've ever seen." And then in the movie it's like, aliens will abduct you at like a certain time in the day, and like if you see a white owl outside your window, that's a sign that they're watching you, stuff like that. So like I always slept with my curtains on my windows closed, and if I was up at a certain time, like I think it was like 3:30 or something like that they would come and abduct you. So if I was up at 3, I had to stay up, and I couldn't fall asleep until after 3:30.
It's the witching hour.
Yeah.
Dang.
That messed me up for a long time.
And you were in 12th grade?
No, 11th grade.
Wow.
Aliens really
That's
freaked me out.
big scary girl.
I guess that's another irrational fear is aliens.
So there's
maybe it's rational because there's got to be aliens.
Yeah.
Anyway, what were you gonna say?
There's something to be said about being in a giant theater full of mutually terrified people. Like, it was so much fun going to the Paranormal Activity movies, whether or not you think it's scary. It's like everyone is like,
they're there to be scared.
Yeah, and everyone's having fun being scared. And I have come up with because did you know that they play a frequency? There's a certain frequency that they play in the background. That I'm not sure if you can hear it or not, but it heightens your anxiety.
Oh, that's messed up.
Yeah.
That's just mean.
I'm pretty sure they did it in Jaws.
It's like a dog whistle.
Kind of. Like, it just, like, causes you stress.
That's funny.
So it makes it scarier.
That's fun.
And so in all the paranormal movies, I'm pretty sure they did that. And also, I don't know if you remember this, but they did, the trailers for the movies didn't show any of the movie. It just showed the audience.
People's reactions.
Right. So I think why they were so fun is because people were, like, kind of secretly believing they were being recorded.
Oh, I never thought that.
Oh, I definitely didn't think that either.
Oh, okay. So disregard that last part.
Their reactions were, like, over the top.
I just remember, I think I saw, it's the one where the girls are little. Like the third one, I think. I saw it in theaters. And I was sitting next to this guy. It was like opening night. And he was there with his girlfriend, and I just happened to be there with a couple of my friends. And there was a part that made like the whole theater like jump, and we smacked each other. Like, I smacked him and he smacked me. We just looked at each other and we were like, "You good? You good? Okay."
That's funny.
Scary movies really freak me out.
But, like, why do we enjoy it?
Because it's fun to be scared.
Yeah. It's like thrill-seeking without consequences.
Yeah. Except for nightmares.
Do you get nightmares?
I don't really dream. But that's a whole nother, like, conversation to have.
My dreams are intense and, like, crazy. But I usually don't have nightmares that I wake up from.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have this recurring dream nightmare when I was little.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be jumping on our neighbor's trampoline with them. So it was a bunch of us all jumping on a trampoline. And then this masked person, it was like a paper bag mask.
Oh, yeah.
With one small red eye cut out and one big blue eye cut out. You couldn't see their eyes. Like, it was, like, colored around the... Anyway. He'd drag each person by their foot underneath the trampoline one by one, and they'd all come back up with the same mask.
I remember her telling me this when we were little and being like, I don't ever want to hear about your dreams again because that's really scary.
I was little. Like, I was like 5, and I'd have this dream all the time. And when they grabbed my foot, I'd wake up.
And me and Katie always shared a room, so she'd be like, I had this really scary dream. And I'd be like, that doesn't sound scary.
So, what was my question?
Scary movies.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah.
I really like scary movies, but they really mess me up.
I haven't been able to, like, go to a theater in a while.
Babies are a real buzzkill, everybody. But, you want another steak one?
Do you want any of mine?
Nope.
It's okay. Yeah, I do want one.
Yeah, I thought so.
Okay, and then we're almost done, so we're going to end on one more question, which is, what is the scariest experience you've ever had? And that can be paranormal or not paranormal.
So, probably me and Katie collectively agree that the scariest thing that's ever happened to us is probably the night that our dad died, but we don't want to get into that because it's dark. So, the thing after that, the next scariest thing that has ever happened to me is, so when we were in high school, we were part of a ghost hunting group. That consisted of me and Katie, our brother Cody from the last video, Katie's best friend Brandon, one of her best friends, and our uncle Jimmy. And there's this abandoned, like, middle school, really old middle school with, like, a cemetery next to it in Draper, Utah. And we were
able to get the keys to multiple places in Draper that are supposedly haunted. And this was just one of them.
So, we set up a camera in one room. In the gymnasium. Because, I don't know the story behind the haunting, but, like, the whole thing was, like, a kid died there.
A kid died around it or drowned somewhere near it.
Right. So,
Is what we heard.
If you know, comment down below. But, so we started in the gymnasium, and we were setting up cameras, and all of a sudden something banged on one of the doors, and we were all like turned and looked, and like in the camera where it was recording, so you can see us all like starting to back up against a wall, and then it bangs again. And so then our Uncle Jimmy was like, well, I'm the oldest one here, I should go and figure out what it was, and it was nothing.
Well, nothing that we could figure out.
Right. And this is like an old abandoned school, so like Pee-wee football players would go and like have meetings there to get all their equipment. Like it was like mostly like a storage shed.
Yeah. There's a lot of like costumes for the Draper Theater, and which is also scary, but nothing happened with that.
And then, they were doing like work on it or something. So there were like plastic tarps hanging in the hallway, and it was drafty. So we had finished like the basement, so we were all walking upstairs together. Just like we had like a recorder. What are those called?
Camcorder?
The voice recorders. Just a voice recorder, I guess. And so part of the thing we would do is we'd walk around and be like, if there's any ghosts here, if there's anything you want to communicate with us about, we're here to listen, blah, blah. And then we just sit there for a minute and just hold it and see if we could get anything. And we were all just walking and sitting there.
So there's a hallway.
And it's
big
dark.
Hallway. And then there are connecting smaller hallways.
Like a school.
Right. So we were at the far end.
And then all of a sudden you hear this noise, and it legitimately sounded like a body bag being like drug across the floor. So like we all like together.
Oh my gosh. That was probably like one of the scariest moments of my life because we were like, there's somebody in here.
Mm-hmm.
Like we didn't even think ghosts. We just
No.
thought,
Like, someone's gonna kill us.
Yeah.
So we all, and then it, like, you kept hearing it. Like, it sounded like a dragging across the floor. So we're all, like, grouped together, and then my Uncle Jimmy's like, crap, I'm the oldest still. So he, like, was like, hello? And then he, like, goes around the corner, and he's like...
He disappears into a hallway.
Yeah, and you can still hear
says,
it.
Hello? Like, almost like someone's
Yeah, like,
there.
someone's there. We were all
And
like... And then he's like, oh, it's just plastic blowing in the wind. And I think we all collectively crapped our pants.
Yeah. So for like 5 seconds, it was one of the scariest moments ever, and we were all like,
This is how we die. Yeah, it was so scary. But we didn't end up getting anything really from the school.
From anything that we did.
Yeah.
It was really fun, though.
It was really fun. And our uncle was like, I just did it because I wanted to hang out with you guys.
Yeah. And we would go to, like, cemeteries, and we'd sometimes get into places, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of scary being in a dark place alone.
That you know you're not really supposed to be in.
And that's supposedly haunted.
Mm-hmm.
But we never really caught anything other than the bangs that were on camera. And but
Or like orbs.
I don't think we got any orbs.
We did. We got one. It was at the Draper Middle School. It was in the basement. Do you have a scariest thing that's happened to you?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you agree that it's my thing?
No.
Oh.
Well, I can't get into my story.
That's for another time.
Because
It's really long.
it's really long. And it's really good.
It's really good.
And I don't want to hype it up, but...
Save that for its own video. Because that's a good story.
It's a good... And it's... I don't know if it's scary, but...
It's scary.
I told this to my brothers. So there's a thing, when I get scared, my eyes, I just start crying. not like I'm sad, but like...
They're just leaking.
I'm crying and I can't... So you know I'm really scared when you see me crying. But I told this story to my brothers. We were at Brian Head at a cabin, and it was late at night, and we were sitting in the hot tub. And I was telling my brothers this story, and they were all like... And I got so scared by my own story that I started to cry.
They were probably like, this really happened.
But, funny story, I used to tell my brothers. I'm really good at coming up with a dramatic... So, I'm really good at building up drama in my stories, and the endings are not good. So, I would gather my brothers when they were really little, and I'd be like, you guys want to hear a scary story? And I'd get Connor so scared.
And even me, I'm
like,
older than her. I'd be like,
don't finish it. Don't tell me.
Yeah.
Don't. But I could never come up with a good ending, so I'd always be like, I'd end it with something to do with bananas.
every time.
Every time. Like,
And they opened the box. And it was filled with bananas. And then we'd be like, thanks, Katie.
but I get them so scared. And each time they didn't know whether or not it was going to be a banana story.
We should have known. Every time it was a banana
Or
story.
a real story. But my ghost story, my real ghost story, is not a banana story, so... I think yes.
Yeah, that's cute. Mabels. Yeah, she said yes.
Yeah, I said yes.
Mabel the Babels.
So, maybe next time... Hi! What you got? Next time we'll do, my ghost story.
Yeah, that's good.
And I'll try not to cry. This is Mabel.
Well, you're gonna get her out of shot. Yeah, I agree.
Mabel, can you say hi?
Hi.
Do you know what a cow says?
No.
No.
Do you know what a sheep says?
Wow.
But that's good.
Do you know what a horsey says?
We're just gonna wrap it up now because we have 2 pieces left. Ding, ding, ding.
And they're both mine.
And they're both salmon.
So, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.
Let us know your scariest thing that's happened to you in the comments down below.
Yeah, and I'll link our first 2 videos.
Mhm.
You can take a look at those if you'd like.
Mhm.
I think we're going more into the realm of when we first started this channel, we wanted to do eat and conspiracies or eat and true crime,
Spooky.
eat and spooky.
Mhm.
So I think we're
Maybe both.
I think we're diving more into that realm, hopefully.
We'll have lighter episodes. We'll have lighter videos too.
Yeah.
Just
We'll mix it
goofing
all
around.
in, but yeah, so if you like this video, subscribe to our channel.
If you have something you want us to talk about next time,
Or
comment down
something
below.
you'd like to watch us eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye guys.
Bye bye.